estimate. So now this will, depending on how familiar you are with, if you're new to the organization, you may not quite know a lot of the history. I did pull up, well, I created some actual financials from the prior year just in case we had to reference them. But I'm just going to throw out kind of some scenarios to help plug these imaginary numbers in. So let's say this organization gets about $5,000 a month each month the last 3 months of the year. So we'll say we expect about $15,000, and you can really easily make a comment because you want to have kind of a narrative as to where you came up with that number. So expecting $5,000 a month in individual and corporate donations. Okay. If you do a big campaign or push like for Giving Tuesday, that may be in your special event or fundraising revenue. But let's just keep that at $15,000. For government grants, we have about a $15,000 grant we're expecting a response from. I'm going to check my email, blah, blah. Okay, we got approved for that grant. We should see the money in about 6 weeks. So I'm going to say add that $15,000. That'll bump up. As you can see, it's automatically calculating. We went from 35.5 to 55. So we're a little bit over what we expected. And again, you can add a comment to say, let's say XYZ Foundation paying a grant by mid-November. Okay. All right, moving on. We've gotten all the government grants we expect, so that can be 0. Special event, we don't have any other special events for the rest of the year, although we may set a goal to get, let's say, $1,500 for Giving Tuesday, and there's no earned income. So we expect to be at $235 for the full year, or that was our budget, and we're looking at about $225, $270. So we're looking pretty close. We're about $10,000 less than we had budgeted. So that was fun and easy. Let's do expenses. So in this organization, we're going to say that we don't have programming in November and December. It's holiday season, winter break. People aren't really doing the programs at that time. So we only have 1 month of expenses, and we spend about $3,500 in direct expenses. Personnel runs us with taxes and benefits about $6,000 a month. So we're going to multiply that by 3 for the full quarter. And then contract expenses, the only other contractor we expect is maybe a board retreat at the end of the year. We have someone come in for $3,000 to help facilitate our board retreat. So we'll add that expense. Excuse me. General management, just overall, like operational, it's about $2,000 a month we spend. That's for telephone and postage and lease and all of that. So we're going to say $2,000 a month will give us $6,000 for the year. Travel, let's say we're going to do a conference. We have a few of our people going out for a conference, and we expect that'll be $700. So I'm just coming up with these random numbers, okay? So if we look at our forecast for expenses, we're under, which is great. We're at 216 and change, and we don't want to go over 225. So that was easy. Okay, and we have justifications. Again, you just want to add a little note of how you come up with these fourth quarter estimates. And over here, we have to say for our donated goods and such, we only have, again, 1 month of programming because we're off November, December. Let's estimate we expect about $1,500 in donated goods and services for the rest of the year. So we won't quite hit our $24,000 goal. And anytime you have a significant variance with your numbers, you want to kind of study that and see, well, we thought we'd get $24,000 based on these factors, but we came up short. Why is that? What can we do to budget better next year? Did we lose a significant amount of donations somewhere along the line? So you really want to look at your numbers and see why you're not hitting your target. Or in this case, like if we go up here to special event revenue, we exceeded. We expected 65,000 for the year, and we almost got 66,000. Plus, we're aiming to do a campaign for Giving Tuesday for another 1,500. So we've gone over our revenue. So basically, the forecast, and I put out a little silly blog post today about don't be like the grasshopper, right? Don't wait until the end of the year and go into panic mode, but you really, really want to take a moment and take the time and just start plugging in where you expect to be. And if you need to, you hear me say this a lot, do you need to course correct? Are you tracking well? What can be done so you don't end up with a deficit at the end of the year? And in this case, we look at, we expected, this is down here, our net operating revenue, we expected almost 10,000, 9,700. And based on our forecast in October, we're looking at over 8,500. So I'm not losing any sleep. However, you want to do this exercise every month through the rest of the year. So in November and December, you want to do that again because some of these actuals are going to change, and maybe your estimate will also change based on what you know. Like we expected 5,000 a month, but maybe we can see we're not going to quite hit that, in November. We need to drop that down, whatever that looks like. So I encourage you to do this in October, November, December with a template or create your own. And you can just name them. I'll say prepared October and just put the date, save it, and then do it again each month. Okay. So with that, I didn't want to make this super lengthy. We're already at 15 minutes. I don't see if there are any comments, questions. I truthfully don't know if I'm on Facebook with this. Hopefully we are, but I will be putting out more demonstrations, and I will make available this template just to make it really easy. I will have I call it the 5 and 5 or the overview one. And then like I showed you, the details. Your financials may look a little different as far as your categories, but say, for instance, under direct contributions, that includes board pledge, individuals, recurring pledges, business and corporate. All those are the subcategories. And then, like I said, all the other categories have several details, like the contractors and general management. All those things will have several subcategories. So you can choose if you want to do just the basic overview or the more in-depth detail. So feel free to email me or send a message if you have questions. I, again, jumped out of my comfort zone and am trying my rain or shine. It's time for financial forecasting. If you all like what you saw, give me a like or whatever, a comment, how I can improve, if I need to shorten it like 10 minutes. But I will remind you, next month, our theme is to finalize the budget for 2020. Last month, we did some team budgeting, kind of got the ball rolling. This month is forecasting. And then in November, we'll finalize our budget. So this forecast is going to be very helpful to help finalize the budget. But you got to look at your numbers. And before you can even do the forecast, please make sure your financial reports are closed out, reconciled, accurate, right? Make sure all your numbers are on track so you can do an effective forecast. All right, with that, I'm out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll try to figure out how to turn this guy off, and we'll see you later this month with more forecasting tools.